Good evening, everybody. Bit of a change in the intro music for a change. Downloaded a new one, The Who. Sounds a bit similar to the original, so I think I might get copyright problems with that one, but we will find out. Well, I will later tonight when I upload to YouTube. Speaking of which, if you're watching this and you're on YouTube, please click that subscribe button. Got a long way to go to get to the 1000. Currently on about 130 last time I checked. Love each and every one of you. Quite a bit left on this track, but maybe I'll let it play out quietly in the background. As you might be able to see if you're aware of your surroundings, I'm attempting to program for the ZX Spectrum Next this time. The Z80n. I've never ever done it. So it's going to be a very, very slow paced video. And I apologise in advance if you're one like myself who just likes seeing the action. Like seeing sprites straight added in, do collision, firing of weapons, and all that good stuff. Probably ain't going to see any of that today. And that's the end of the music. But I've successfully drawn a sprite to the screen thanks to help from Emook or Chuck Norris on YouTube. A few people have sent me some tutorials. Some of them I can make sense of, some of them I can't. The one I'm sticking to right now for this session is the official one, specnext.com/sprites. Like I say, I work quite a lot and I sometimes try and grab my phone and read these things while I'm at work, but I've been trying for a very long time to read through this page in its entirety, and I never quite managed to get to the end, not without not understanding any of it. You know, I normally just brush through it. I need to work through it paragraph by paragraph, understand every single bit. I've got part of the way there, because as you'll see in a minute, this code here will draw the sprite, a sprite to the screen. I've got several sprites here. I just grabbed them quickly. You can kind of make them out if you look there. Maybe if you've got a really good monitor. Let's get it drawn to the screen first. So I've had this problem as well, where my run.bat is not running anymore. This is just, it's a strange one because it didn't happen to me before work, but ever since I got home I tried to run it. Not sure why. The log for CSpect says ROM enabled, but that's earlier today, so I'm not even getting the log. Hey Vulcan, how are you doing, my man? I'm giving it a try on the net.
Having a great day.
Oh,
I was just looking up some fun.
What the hell is happening there? That's funny. I've actually got my phone on mute, and that happens still. Sounded like my phone was trying to tell me it had a great day. Bixby. Alexa, order a curry. Yeah, it sounded like Alexa, didn't it? I'm definitely not an Alexa user. I recently got a Galaxy S10, like about 7 months ago. But all of a sudden, Bixby pops up. I notice it recording me when I'm doing my streams. You see the words pop up on the screen. It's like, what? But I've never had to actually talk to them. Yeah, I can't tell why it's not running C-Spec anymore. What a stupid thing. I haven't moved it. Hey, Microman. Wife is fruit-based. Fruit-based devices. Yeah, I'm all about Androids. I like to be able to tinker without jailbreaking it. Why not? Why not? I just personally don't mind just writing stuff into Google. You know, it doesn't bother me. I've already hit hurdle number 1, which is run.bat is not working, and I haven't changed it. That's a real bugger. I mean, it does create the next file. I can't imagine why it would suddenly stop working. It creates the next file and the map, but it doesn't open C-Spec. Oh, it must have an error in the code. That must be why. I think I need to put it to wait. I guess I might as well put this on the screen for you for a sec. It involves me switching the screen again. But basically, it says if no error, do this. But you can't see the error in the compiler because it shuts too quick. So I don't know any better way of doing it, but I'm just going to add a pause here. In fact, I don't need to do that. I won't save that. In the run.bat, perhaps I can do else. I've never done this, but it says if not error. I mean, how is that even legal syntax? I got that off a website, but look. Just try it, innit? Else, pause. I just can only try it, really. Oh. Hopefully we get a pause if it errors now. Let me find that. Notepad++. I've got Notepad++, but I use it for other. I use that basically just to paste random notes for myself that never go away. It's been relegated to that. And I think it's basically because it hasn't got a dark mode. I'm sure it's an error in the code because I changed a bit of it around to try and get it the sprite moving, which I was doing completely wrong. But if I try that now, Alright, now I've got this remaining on my screen, and you can now see 2 errors. So it's not quite as integrated as we had it before, but this will work for us for the next dev. I can hardly read that on my screen here, but label not found PY. That was something I was using. I thought I got rid of it. Excuse me. There we go. Right, and now we're cooking. Let's try and get the screen back to how it should be. Something like that should work. It appears the chat isn't showing up, is it, in the stream? I'll have to keep my eye on that. It's supposed to be. I'm just checking that. I'm going to test it. Oh, look, it is now. Okay. Yeah, label not found PY. Easy to fix, and we fixed it, and we're in. So I can't remember whether this is just going to draw a static little sprite, but look at him, he's cute. And of course he doesn't use the spectrum's capabilities because that's like a 2-color or 3-color sprite technically with the background color. But he looks pretty cute, and I just grabbed him in. I've got a sprite editor for the Next, which is quite cushy, made by Emook as well. I'm just going to fiddle around and get this stream back to working because I'm all over the place here with screens. Oh god. Where's what? There we go. Zeus. Have they really? Well, good for them, I guess. But yeah, he's a cute little fox. Let's just, for a second, just have a look through them, see which one's cool and which one ain't. I just grabbed them. I didn't even frame them properly, unfortunately. Oh, it crashed. It said updating. That was VS Code. Just closed without my consent. Good evening, Moz. Tiny bit late. You've not missed anything. I've been fixing an error to get it to load. Just a label that I was using. We're just going to see this next sprite's a little dog, I think. I'm literally just showing off sprites that I've downloaded someone else's work. It's not going to show you that because there's already one open. Oops. Oh, it's still the then again, I said it looks like a little dog. It's probably the same sprite twice. Let me get a different one. Let's go for 1. So all I'm successfully demonstrating here is that I've learned how to display a sprite, and that's it. I tried to move it and it did not have it in the way I wanted to, but there we go, we've got him now. And these can be zoomed and mirrored, flipped. Still need 48k. What is Z80n? Oh, environment, okay. What do you need for the 48K for the dev environment? What do you want with that? Like Pasmo will do it for you, won't it? You know, if you just want really simple. Or if you want the DZOG. I think I've got a video where I set that up. I could do another more concise one. Because it's quite easy for the 48K to get DZOG actually. It wasn't that hard in the end. It's basically a case of having that launch.json and tasks.json. Oh, Zeusing. VS Code. Well, mate, I'll put it into a zip folder for you if you don't want to bother setting it up. But it's not that hard actually. You just got to make sure you've got that launch.json and tasks.json. Then there's a couple of little bits like the macro stuff here at the bottom. You have to have a certain type of them and this little bit of crap that I don't even understand, to be honest. I've just copied that off micro. Also, get rid of the end statement if you were using that, because I used to use that for Pasmo. But yeah, as we see, I've had some problems figuring out why this, for example, send pattern data. I mean, why does he put 91 there as a value? And I was reading through the sprite patterns thing when I ran out of time and thought, well, I might as well come on air and just chat about it with you guys while I'm doing it, because I wasn't really getting anywhere. I was browsing through this in the half an hour I had before I went online, and then getting interrupted by writing stupid thing into Google like Trump for Grand Negus. I don't know why. I just kept getting distracted. Then I wrote in something else. It's infiltrated my brain because I don't even care about politics. Zeus was a bit weird. I looked at it very briefly and didn't understand it. You know, it didn't fit my code exactly, so I just went straight back to what I was doing. Yeah, I'll put it in a zip folder for you, Volk. But I'll do it after the stream, right, mate? And then I'll put it on Discord for you. Pretty much straight after the stream. Yeah, as I say, straight away I tried to look through the code and just understand it, because I got provided with this example from Chuck Norris on YouTube, who's also visited the channel. He's called Emook. I think it's the same person. Yeah, I see what you mean, Vulcan. I prefer to be able to understand it at the lowest level without having to rely on any one particular application, if possible. That's why when I went to Zeus, I felt like I was having to learn stuff just to use Zeus, so I gave up just too quickly. I spent just a couple of minutes really. But I have had a few people tell me about Zeus. Quite a few of you, Moz, but there has been others as well. Can't remember the names of the others. But anyway, it seems to me that this you have to give it a pattern, which is the state. It's like imagine a sprite sheet. Imagine if this was all the same sprite with lots of different frames. A pattern is just one frame. But it seems to me like 91, it was like OX5B. Why? I don't understand. It's 16 by 16 the sprites, and they're 1 byte per pixel. Even if he was doing the 4-bit sprites. Yeah, it's still not. I don't get the 91 there for a start. So I've been trying to read this thing. Have you not written any code yet then, Vulcan? Or just like playing around drawing a sprite or something on the screen? On the spectrum, I mean. Yes, this is scary. I think I need to look at that in binary. I also don't get because it's so confusing. It says send pattern data to comment. Pattern data. Pattern data is like that. Oh Christ. So it says if you're going to use the 8-bit sprites, which I am going to use always. N6 is always 0, and I don't get that because it says N6 is the least significant bit. So why would that always be 0? Surely you'd use the most significant bit. I don't know. Anyway, that means there's a remaining 6 bits can identify 64 patterns. So you're only using 6 bits. So yeah, let's have a look at what that is in binary then. Game Boy stuff, partly C. That's brilliant. I'd love to get to that stage one day. So apparently this pattern is only bothered about 7 bits. And funny enough, that's bit 6, according to this. It says for 8-bit sprites, 6 is always reset. Well, why is it 1 then? I wonder what happens if I just change that to 0 here. see no sprite now. Okay, interesting. It's absolutely mental. I don't understand it whatsoever. I think I'll put it back to how I found it. Just make sure it works again. And there he is. So I'm very much stuck just using the code right now. I don't have a clue how it's working. N6 is bit 0 position. But that's actually bit 7, isn't it? Isn't it? And then that would be bit 0. Why am I wrong again? I was correct then, yeah? Okay. So it's still 1, even then. But if you look here, pattern. I just copied that directly off the website. You know, you can see it at specnext.com/sprites. You can see a proper version of it. N6 is bit 0, not bit 6. That's it. That's what it says there, yeah. So I should say N6, sorry, when I say bit 6. I'm talking about these N pattern bits. But I still don't get it. Let's go back up, because actually, do I even understand the slot? Let me have a check on my reference thing. I think that might be the slot, even though it's titled pattern number in the guide there. I got that guide, and these notes are from someone different, you know. But this seems to be describing labeling a sprite with a number, basically, which might indicate slot. No, I really don't think so, though. No, that's quite a huge number. Nah, I'm wrong with that, because that is like a 16-bit number, obviously. 0, always 0. That's right, it says here, look, about that. It says if you're using the 8-bit, N6 is always 0. The remaining 6 bits can identify 64 patterns, each of which is 256 bytes in size. Bit 1 through 6. So in other words, that, yeah, that. So this 1, but then when I change that 1 to 0, it does mess the program up. Oh, nibble. I'm just literally reading off this. But this code came from someone who's very much in the know. He knows a lot about Spectrum programming. He created the sprite editor for the Next, which is the only one I can find online. And it's quite useful. I mean, it's quite decent to use. No, no worries, Vulcan. Mate, I'm totally stuck here, so there's nothing. Don't feel silly saying something that turns out to be wrong, because it might be right. What else we haven't commented? Copy the. I'll try and copy that in. Is that from that other guy's site? This black background with red writing. I was also reading his site. I couldn't find the exact bit I wanted. Whoops. It was, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I must admit, I've studied the document to some extent all over the place, and I'm still struggling. Sometimes I understand things when it's got really good docs. I'm not trying to knock the docs for the next, but they're not the easiest to get to grips with. Because all I want to do at the end of the day is draw a sprite and move it. It shouldn't be that hard. 7-bit. It's only the address of the sprite. It's only the pattern. Sorry. Wait there. It says sprite patterns are the images that each sprite can take on. The images are stored in a 16K memory internal. It's just an ID. It's like you can have up to 64 sprites. So you have a counter. So one sprite might be him looking forwards, the other one might be him looking up or running in a sequence, you know. That's what I thought it was anyway. But I could be wrong completely. God, this is tricky. Is this what the Commodore 64 is like then as well? Because that's got internal sprite hardware, hasn't it? Look at the bottom of that. The other bit is probably used for something else, of course. What am I looking at here then, Mods? The +3 special modes override the MMUs if used. Sprite attribute 0, automatic post increment. It's really complicated. I'm sure it's one of them things. If you once you get one working example of moving a sprite up and down, we'll be away. You know, we'll be able to do lots then. I hope. The good thing is it doesn't need to buffer encode like we had before. All that's going to get taken care of. Plus, you can flip them, zoom them, rotate them. But it's knowing how to do it, innit? Can't spend don't need a computer science degree to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to be screwed. I don't want to do basic coding. That's the examples I could find was basic. Not sure what I'm reading there, Mods. I'll try to glean something out of it. But ULA next, attribute byte format. That could be it. Bit 7 to 0, mask indicating which bits of an attribute byte are used to represent ink. Palette index. Sprite number. Yeah, I wonder if that's the pattern. Sprite number. I think it is. Oh, it seems the bit 7 is used as an offset, so you can have like another set of patterns. It says add 128 to pattern address by adding bit 7. The sprite number is in lockstep. It's all gobbledygook to me at the moment, I'm afraid. I just want to know how to draw it. Because at the moment, it's getting drawn, but it seems to me impossible to move. I'm wondering, do you draw it all at the start and then either move it or not display it, hide it? I really don't know. Hopefully I can come up with an example, because there's really not that many online. I think it could become popular if I can do a decent one. Copy of sprite data. Yo, thanks Mars. Thank you very much, dude. This seems very straightforward, whatever he's doing. I noticed on your example you sent me, Moz, he also does BC5B, which is what that started out as. So it seems that's like, I don't know, the sprite port or something. It's not something that needs to be changed. What's it actually doing though? I did try looking at some stuff in Basic Moz already, but I'm not a fan of learning Basic at this stage. I'd rather just go back to C++ or C# if I'm going to do that, if I'm honest. But they started using arrays and that straight away in the Basic code I saw. I couldn't relate it to assembly at all. But I know a lot of people are saying just use Basic on the next, because obviously it has that extra oomph to get the code running, at a reasonable rate. But you're always going to be able to do a better code, as far as I understand, a better game, in assembly, as far as I've been told. As long as you do it properly in assembly, always going to be able to squeeze more out of the system, especially if you understand it fully. Excuse me. So OTIR, in case nobody knows what that does, because I don't really know what it does. I knew it was looping through until B was 0, but it reads from HL the data in it and writes to port C. So that's where the 5B comes in. He's got it like that. It doesn't. You don't need preceding zeros, but to make sure you know it's 2 byte, that's in the C. So it writes out data from there to C. Oh. HL is incremented and B is decremented. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. So you basically have to send the sprite data byte by byte to this using the out command. I need to get a manual or something. Why that? Why port 91? I mean, let's write 91 there. Why do we need a hexadecimal value there? Unless the ports are numbered like in hex. Where are they? I can't find them. I have got the manual here. I was having a good look through it earlier. Ports. As far as I could tell, it didn't even mention the ports. So I'm going to look at that basic code I was looking at. Yes, I've already seen it. I've also seen this. In case you haven't seen it, I'll load it on the screen. So this video is going to be full of me just struggling, to be honest. Whoever screwed over your barbecue? Oh, unlucky man. Is there nowhere to go out to anymore in your area? Is everywhere closed? I know things are closed here at night, but there is a couple of places open. Didn't see 91 earlier. Yeah, it's just port 91, but why? That's what I don't get. Yeah, well, I understand that bit, yeah, but I mean, I wonder, how am I supposed to know? Let me rephrase it. How was I supposed to know about port 91 without finding that code? Surely there's a list of these things. Must be. Yeah, it's gonna be, innit? Sounds brilliant, man. You got to feel for some people though. Like some people, including myself, live in tiny, tiny flats. And then obviously it's okay for me. I'm in my 30s. But imagine if you're sort of 65 or even higher. Pretty scary time. So I'm kind of thinking, what the hell is this, honestly? I mean, they've got this sprite keyword in the next basic. So it hides, it basically hides, abstracts all that stuff we're doing here. They just write sprite. There must be somewhere that tells you about the ports, which ports to use. Nowhere's port 91. Doesn't say port 91 anywhere in the manual. No. Yeah, it's harsh, man. I do agree with that, Vulcan. Oh, you found the list, Moz. Well done. Sometimes I can't see the wood for the trees, can I? Hang on there. Let's find port 91 here then. Of course, it might be 5B if it's in hex. Five B. Oh, okay. I mean, look, I hate to sound negative, but this isn't exactly what I would call like a comprehensive document of what you know. Is this just the list of ports then? That's what you meant by look at the bottom. Okay, I'm with you now. To me, that just looked like some weird output. I didn't have a clue what it was. Okay, that's helped a lot. Thank you guys. I got there in the end. I do remember reading that somewhere just today about this bit now. I do remember seeing that. Like not this bit, but I remember reading about 5B and 57. Why does it even need attributes at this stage? It's annoying. I suppose the attributes are now the mirrored and all that crap, isn't it? There's some scope here to write a tutorial where you can click these, you know, not even a tutorial, like documentation where you can click these to find out about them. I know you can on here, you know, it's basically telling me about it here, isn't it? But they're using different names all over the place for the same thing. Doesn't even mention 5B here. 4B. I mean, I'm probably being unfair. I haven't even read the whole document yet. Technically correct. You like that then, Vulcan, yeah? That's good. No, that's it. I'm asking too much, really. I'm expecting too much. That's it. I copied this from the comments, that entire thing, just now. I've been reading this on and off all day, but I can't really get past this sort of area. I get that. What I'd like is a step-by-step of how to bloody do it. You've got to put the sprite data in at 5B. You've got to put the attributes in at 5.7. But there's no step-by-step guide. You've got like 50 paragraphs here going on about nibbles. Sprite data. Sprites are stored now. If you use the 8-bit type, you basically have one whole byte. It shows the color from 0 to 255, and if you hit it E3, then your magenta, that's classed as transparent. I remember reading that much. It says it here actually. I get how to draw a sprite in data. I'm a long way off getting this, which really upset. It doesn't upset me, but it's a humbling experience. Just to be humbled, it's like flattened. Just can't understand it. Trying hard to understand it, but like I say, I need a bullet point guide. Just push the sprite data to this port, push that to that. Following ports are used in the spectrum next. Right. Yeah, it's got some sprite hardware on it, and the attributes are like mirror, flip, rotate, rotation. Yeah, I know, it'll take some reading, definitely. I mean, I have been reading it, I've been trying. I really want to get an example out there. There needs to be one. There's some examples to be had, but they're not that simple. Or if they are, they don't really do much. Because that's another thing. Surely you only have to set the palette one time. If you only want one palette for the whole game. Oh really? I didn't know that, micro. Is that for basic on C64 or on Next? Because I imagine that C64 might be a bit like this. They used 4-bit sprites, didn't they? Oh well. As far as far as I know, I've just skipped through this, which just shows you how to draw a sprite, what the data will look like. Okay, sounds good. Does it not have rotation then in basic? Is that not an attribute? I thought.
According to dictionary.com,
Oh, for God's sake, my phone's still going on.
direct attention to indicate a place on a map.
Turn it off. Can't have the phone listening to me all the time. Darn it. So here's the attributes. So 4 or 5 attribute bytes. Yeah, I nearly smashed the bloody phone then. I can't stand them. 100 Second Street bit. Basic display before rotation. Well, I mean, I want to figure out from this code what bit only needs to be done once. Surely you don't need to do that every time you want to draw. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I'd say that's probably all just the initialization of the sprite. And then moving it is probably done by a different port. I don't know. Still trying to work that out. I was just trying to show code then as well, and I'm still on the web page. Ooh. This is tricky stuff, guys. So anyway, it's 4 or 5 bytes, the attributes, for each sprite. Okay, attribute 0 is at X position. Right, now I'm getting somewhere. Hang on. That's what he means by this 8-bit in my code, in the code example here. He says X position is a 16-bit number if 255 MSB stored below. Most significant bit. I tried just moving that though when I wanted to move the sprite and it didn't do it. What I'm wondering though, Micro, because I had already read this, but when I tried to apply it down here, I had PY. Oops. Look, he's out into 57. That's the attribute port. 64 X position says here. Y position. Well, I changed that. Oh, is it over? Is it over that width? Is it? That's strange then, because look where 32 leaves you. So what? They're both 32, 32, and that's what it was before, I believe. No, 64. Okay. So of course that should run. Whoops. So yeah, he's still there. If I put 70, oh, he was there. I managed to get it to not show up when I just put in a random number. I'll be happy if he shows up every time, so that's at least a step forward. But okay, that's roughly where I expected him to be, so that's good. So in that case, do we have to do it in all this order? Thank you, Vulcan. I was on the wrong screen for that to work. So sorry about that. Oh, there we go. It's kind of working, I think. Yeah, all 4 hints micro. Wow, that was an explosion of bits. Thanks, man. That was absolutely epic. They do look kind of spooky. They look awesome. Rip says it all about this tonight as well. So it seems that's the 4 bytes that he's talking about. Palette, visible, blank SD image. Ah, good shout, man. Cool idea, Micro. I will try and figure that one out soon, man. That's a very good shout. Does it not need the ROM as well then, or would I have to have both? Will it just attach automatically? I'll try it out anyway. I'm just concerned at this moment. I kind of get what's happening here, but there's 4 there, and he only does 2 outs. So he's talking about these as well, and then there's 5, 6. That was funny, that glass. Uh, I had an idea then as well, but I've forgotten it. Well, it seems like somehow I want to be able to just write into the position. We've initialized a sprite here. What I was doing before was, and I don't think this worked, I think I've already tried this, but I created this main loop here, so it initializes it, jumps to here and stays there. In update I'll do those 2 again. But I'll increase X. In fact, let's just decrease Y. I just fancy doing that instead. Right, so it should just go up the screen. Or is the pixel layout from the bottom left now? Because I think this went up the screen and it flickered like hell when I tried it. I mean, it went the wrong way from what I wanted it to. Well, I mean, look at that. So clearly you have to write all them attribute bytes or something's not happening right. I mean, just to be on the safe side. put it there, and I'll return if it's 64, so it can never go lower. I'm going to be determined with this without a shadow. There you go. We see nothing now of it. I mean, when I was playing around earlier, I managed to get it moving on the screen, but it was very flickery, and there was like 3 on the screen at the same time for some reason. Now it's just not even there. I mean, I would like the documentation to tell me what exactly I need to call to draw a sprite. I understand roughly what all the attributes are doing, the layout of a sprite in bitmap data. I'm back on here at the moment, I'm afraid, guys. So yeah, you can anchor sprites. So obviously if you have one in the top left that comprises of more than one sprite, you'd use this relative. I'm not even interested in that yet. I don't care about relative. Oh, here we go. Maybe I've been missing this bit. I don't think there is Vulkan, and I've asked some of the devs and I've had replies, but this is what the reply was, what I've just showed you on my code there. It's not quite helpful enough for a noob like me. But maybe it was just enough to get the sort of hamster wheel rolling in the mind. Hopefully. Gave me a nudge. This might be what I need. So 3 IO registers and a next reg interface. Port 303BW. Head blown now. Okay, so you select the sprite using that. And then the pattern. Okay. I mean, I already selected it. Why would I have to select it again in the update loop? Before I go ahead and change anything, let's just get rid of everything in that update loop. Just see if it works. W for write, R for read. Thank you. Do you want to see it again? I was still reading it, but I was just checking something here. Someone kicked the mug, did they? Oh look, it's drawing again. So just the fact of having that in the update loop is causing it not to be seen. 2 pages. Yeah, me too. I've got loads of stuff open here, to be honest. I'm reading that though, the programming sprites bit. It seems you write to port 303B twice. That was 5B, wasn't it? The other is it selects one of the 128 4-bit patterns. Port 5B. Everyone needs a port 303. Alright, it seems after you do out, it moves to the next sprite automatically. Free 3 GTI. So perhaps I mean, surely you don't have to do this every single frame though as well, sending the pattern data. I think it says once you select it, you can start writing attributes. Guess I need to write the other two. So palette offset, and then the visibility. I love how he writes all that comment and then it's just load A0. Oh, come on. Why are they over there? Right, so that's your palette, and then this visibility. What are these about? Oh, I guess let's just try that. Although this needs to be down at the bottom. If this works, this will be great. I'm expecting it just to move the sprite to the top of the screen. Well, it's a tiny bit of progress in that it's still there. It's visible. There's definitely no warnings or errors. I just basically, when I started out the channel, the very first person was Moz, who sent me an actual donation to help me start out with some equipment. And when I was able to give VIPs out, he was the first I thought of. Microman was also here right near the start. Every stream, he made a donation via PayPal. So I felt it was like just one way of saying thank you, you know. But I'm happy to meet you VIP if you actually want to be Volker. You've been here a long time now as well, so doesn't mean a great deal, I don't think. I only have a finite number of them I can give out, but no, I got rid of it. I thought, you know, people have already subscribed to my channel and that's all I need really. You know, I'm happy. Even just having viewers is the main thing really, and likes on YouTube and all that good stuff. You know, so that is actually the most important to me. The money, of course, is a massive bonus. Like all these bits really add up. In fact, I should be ready to make my first withdrawal from that, which is huge. You know, it will help me, of course. It's a massive boost. Oh, thanks, Vulcan. Thanks for doing any. Just if you happen to be on there and you see my vids, most of them are rubbish. Is it not linked here? I thought I'd put it in, but I'll certainly put it in again. I wonder why it's not moving though. Oh, it is. That's good. Thanks for checking. Saves me doing it later. I'll remember to put that dev environment up for you as well onto Discord. I'll remember that. I won't forget it. I mean, that should work, shouldn't it? I mean, I've put them in a weird place, these variables, but don't really matter where they are. It's not going to work. Yeah, he's just refusing to move. Not thoroughly commented. Let's have a look. Because I did download his Jim Bagley New Year. I've got it. I've already got it. Yeah. In fact, that's in this very folder. This is a bloody good example, but the only bad thing I can say about this is it's so complicated with all macros and all this, isn't it? As I said a minute ago, it's a real humbling experience, this next dev for me. The only way I can put it, it's like everything I'm reading I don't understand all of a sudden, after being able to understand a lot of different bits about the specky. But I reckon it'll be another thing like all dev where you have a watershed moment and suddenly bang, you understand loads of it. So it's worth it. Sure, it's thoroughly coded. It looks thoroughly coded. Are they not the creators of the next? Or maybe not. Backers, maybe. Early backers. Oh, thanks, Vulcan. Podcast. No, that's an interesting idea. I do run out of interesting things to say very quickly. That's my only problem. I need things to bounce off. It'd have to be like a two-way podcast. What's that one called? Pat the Nez Punk. Like, the most hated podcast in history, I think. Yeah, literally, Moz. I'd be happy just seeing it move from the top to the bottom of the screen. That would be absolutely all I need, I think. My goal here is to make that video, and then I'll probably end up, because it is so lacking, I'll probably make a short version when I finally figure it out. You know, with just one sprite and a movement script. Just get rid of all these. They're just filling it up. No need. Keep one of them. Like I said, I've got an art program that will. It's pretty good. You can import pictures into it. I wonder, do I need that again? Yeah, exactly that, Vulcan. It could take that long. I mean, I think hopefully within 6 weeks I'll definitely be pretty proficient at drawing sprites. I'm just thinking, I've just remembered the conclusion I arrived at earlier, which was this was initializing the sprite, yeah? But to move it, you probably call a different routine. Because if I remember right, if I put this into this update loop as well, we'll end up with loads of the sprites on there. Even though I'm always using slot 0, look. So we're just moving the position along. Oh, it seems way simpler now, doesn't it? Once we've written that double buffering. I mean, if you think back, before the double buffering, to that YX to pix, when I was first writing that YX to pix, that was so confusing. This is probably less confusing than that once you get it, I reckon. Oh yeah, this is, and also rotation. Imagine trying to do rotation with the sprites I've got on the spectrum. That would just, you'd need pre-shifted, like pre-rotated sprites. And even that would be an absolute nightmare trying to actually come up with a script to display the right one at the right time. Whereas this, I think it's got a value for the rotation, and that's it. You just set a value somewhere, one of them attributes, and it'll rotate it. It'll definitely zoom. So we've got 16 by 16 sprites here, but we can zoom it by 4. And then you've got quite a big ass sprite on the screen there. I might have said rotate, I meant zoom. I'm going to delete that stuff from the update yet again. Yeah, I saw that, Vulcan. It does look very cool. And you can have 120, 20 odd of them. The high colour ones. Or it might be 64 high colour ones. But still, 64. Oh, nice. There's got to be a movement port. I don't see why you can't just write to that attribute where it's got the position. Next reg. Basic, there's a sprite command. A sprite number. Okay. That would be nice. Then, I noticed that when I was working through them basic ones, they had Sprite Z80n or whatever. And they were using a lot of percentage signs in there and stuff like that. I tried that. The very first thing I tried was just to put in the update loop the sprite number and then write to the 2 attribute bytes that hold the value for the position. Yeah, Volk. Just think though, some people had it on the Commodore, didn't they? Like something similar to that. I hope you do work it out, Moz. I really do. If you do, I'll be very, very impressed. Because it's really tricky, and I think other people are struggling. I've had a lot of people asking me about doing a video on this. Most of the comments, they're either people on Twitter that are trying to get me to follow their account just by commenting saying nice video or something, or they're you guys, or they're people saying can you do a next video. Yeah, I am beginning to. That's good to know, Micro, about C64. I was hoping that was the case. The bit that really baffles me is I've tried doing this in the update. It just doesn't like it. See, I really would have thought that worked. Oh, I got rid of the changing of the speed. Let's try with X just for the fun of it. Perhaps I'd like to slow the program down as well so I can see if it even moves, if it remains on there for any time at all. down here. Like I say, I'm pretty sure I tried this earlier with moving it on Y and it just goes invisible. Oh, he's over there. Maybe I've sussed it then. I was just letting him go off screen before. I've got no way of checking key input right now, unless I can use my existing key cache code. Let's just briefly make a direction. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be the same as the Spectrum screen because it's like a layer over the top of the existing. You can use the old screen as well. Like I can still draw my background in the same way I've always drawn it if I want to, I believe. Because it says there's a ULA screen and then there's layer 2, which is what we're doing right now, layer 2. But I believe they're the same size. I don't know though. Bloody good question. 32 columns. Yeah. That's how many there is in the original, isn't it? Yeah. Times 8 then. So 32 times 8, whatever that is. 256, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose. True that. Moz. Oh yeah, we're very spoilt now. I mean, imagine not even having like this to be able to copy and paste. I wouldn't even be able to do it. There'd be no way. You know, I may be able to draw something on the screen eventually. But you'd think there must be more than 256 because it says about that. But look, you saw me top it out at 250 there. Let's try and 260. Well, it can never be more than that actually because it's one byte of it. Not down here, it can't. I'm going to carry on doing what I was doing for a minute. True that, Vulcan. I mean, it's really nice though being able to code like this and just run it quickly, see if it works, try something else quickly, see if that works. You know, beautiful. All I want to do is when he gets to the edge of the screen, flip direction, jump to it. Punch card. I'm pretty sure they would have done it on paper before punch card though. They don't just go straight in on the punch card. That's for like storage of data. Yeah, okay. But what would be the point? Is that just to fade out halfway through the screen? You know, halfway. Or I guess maybe you could lay out an entire world. No, not really, I suppose. Because you've only got 9 bits, yeah? You haven't got like a full 16-bit value. What's the actual purpose of that? I don't get that. Yeah, that's it, Vulcan. I remember learning about it in college for the very short time I went there. If only I'd stuck at it. But I thought it was all stupid at the time. Idiot, innit? Dumb kid. I'd love to be able to do the conditional load here, but I can't. So, but I'm going to check if it's going left, set it right. Easy. Of course, this is horrible code. I'd section it out into even more routines if I was writing it properly. In fact, maybe I will do something like. Let's just jump to it for now. I can't be bothered. It was 64, wasn't it? Let's just put. Could be ready to roll. See if it works. Be nice if it does. In fact, if it does, I see this as a short example. Oh, it hasn't run. Errors. I won't load them on the screen. I'll just see what. Oh, label not found. Move left. What an idiot I am. That's good. Little trolley system. Vulcan's like mini trains. Tell me more. I'll tell you another mini train story, Vulcan. There's a place called Trago Mills near me. It's this big shopping centre, and they've got this little tiny train you can get on to go round. It's meant for kids, but I see adults on there quite often because it takes you all around the shopping centre. Let's see if this little bugger moves. Look at him. Look at that. We've made a start. It's my cool demo. I'm lying, like it's nothing. I wasn't trying to draw him moving. This is my demo. They might not have been attractive. Basically, if you're a bloke, virtually all women are attractive, aren't they? In their own way. Unless they have beards, yeah. I remember the days of being able to smoke at work. I can remember when they stopped people being allowed and everyone just kicked off and just ignored it in our office. But we all went upstairs instead and had it in the like back room. So it's moving if you look, but we need. It seems to me like, wow, that seems bloody crazy. Because look how big he is now. What a shame. Oh well. Back to the drawing board. It is moving, yeah. Why is it moving one line at a time though? Like, it seems very odd that. Have I just done some sort of weird hack? Because it's not. I swear it's meant to move 16-bit sprites as a unit. 16 pixel sprite. Maybe I should have stuck with Space Taxi. I could have added bloody loads to the game in the amount of time I've spent doing this. I genuinely thought I'd be able to get on here and maybe get the sprite moving without this much trouble. But we built computers, yeah. I built a couple as well. I find it's actually cheaper to buy them now pre-built off some big seller. Unless maybe I need a better place for the components. If I could buy the components cheap enough, I could certainly build my own. But when I say build my own, I mean plug them together. I don't mean build the motherboard. I saw a video on YouTube. I commented on it. Some bloke created a Z80 machine. Look pretty epic. Crossword. He screams in the toilet. That sounds crazy. Was that when you were up north? I'm sure it happens down south as well. Yeah, I'd buy pre-built as well. Not off Dell, yeah. I saw a guy, I mean, I can't afford it, but there was a guy selling an i9, one of the real top ones, with a cooler, a motherboard, a couple of other bits and bobs, and it was like £700. I thought, that's bloody cheap. I looked at the processor alone. If I wanted to buy it, it was like 900 just for the processor. And he sold like 100,000. It's not like he's some stupid guy in his bedroom. He's got like 150,000 feedback or something, you know, all positive. Yeah, motherboard and cooler. It wasn't like a liquid cooler, but it was enough to do the i9. It was. I looked it up as well. It was like one of the top 10 in the leaderboard at the time. Because that's what led me to look it up. I mean, I was just daydreaming. I wasn't thinking of buying it. Especially not in this sort of time. Before I know it, they might be worth like nothing. People might, you know, they might just can't need to sell them. So why did it move so weird? Very, very odd. Is it because I didn't put that entire... Is it because I didn't do this? In my update link. He looks mad as hell. He's moving though. Do you know what? I think he's just moving really quick. There's no VSync. There's nothing to slow this code down. It's running at maximum speed. My computer. No, it's not that bad. That would probably be worth some money now if I had one of them still. It's not that bad. I'll show you it, mate. I'll put the specs up in a sec. Don't know if that is even visible. Also, I used to have to just go to system. Yeah, it's only dual core. That's the problem. i3, 3.4 GH, but it's like a Dell tiny case, so you can't put anything in it, cooler or anything, or anything. You know, it's got a power supply that's like 40 watts or something. But yeah, I'm gonna get a new one soon. But I was about to say that a minute ago. It's like buying cars. You just always think, oh, it's gonna go down in value, so I might as well wait. Try to slow down the emulator. That would be worth a shout. Yeah, it is pretty bad, micro. It's not for gaming for sure. But there's always a silver lining. It got me back into retro gaming and retro coding. Basically, I had a really good PC, busted it in a silly incident, and lost the use of it. Couldn't afford to replace it, so I bought this one for 50 quid. Downloaded the emulator RetroArch, played for ages all my old favourite games, and then eventually thought, sod it, I'm going to code for the NES. But then it led me back to the Specky, which was where I first started. and I found that much easier, so I went with that, you know. But I was making achievements for the NES for quite a while, so I understood how the memory worked and that. Yeah, let's slow down the emulator. Let's just maybe put a load of halts in there. Let's try one halt. It's probably all we need. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm in the wrong screen mode, aren't I? Oh, he's still buzzing around way there. I know you can slow it down within the EMU as well, but because it's proving how fast it's running, I think. Because that was quite a lot of instructions. We tried that on the 48K, I reckon it would have just naturally slowed it down quite a lot. Okay, now he's not moving at all. Just from one halt. So maybe halt doesn't. Maybe this program doesn't like halt. Maybe the what's his name? The next doesn't like halt, I guess. I mean, this should make absolutely no difference. Let's go down to his position, just change it to. Let's put the X at like 160. Because I reckon that's where he's going to stay. He's just going to stay right there. And there he is. So it seems to me here that anything after the halt is not getting called. Wherever that's gone. I could try putting it at the end, but I suspect it will still not like it. I'll definitely seek to do that blank SD cards very soon. Okay, it is moving now. It's almost like it's ignored the halt though. It's done nothing there. Okay, let me try and Google this. Well, in fact, I'll look at that Mike Bagley's code, or Jim Bagley. Disable interrupts. I notice they do that a lot in these next. They disable it and I don't think they re-enable it. You don't need to do that every frame. We made a microscopic bit of progress though. That's made no difference. Certainly no noticeable difference. Send it off to do a pointless loop. Actually, yeah, I've noticed that in a few examples as well. We're not using draw anymore. I'm not sure if we need that as a concept with this kind of coding. Yeah, maybe we do. Probably, hopefully we do. I like to be able to separate that. Yeah, I was going to try that, Moz. Worth a try. It might work. Does that look alright to everyone? It looks alright to me. I've never really written much code to make it wait. But I think that waits till B is 0. I'm not sure if it ticks down BC or just ticks B down only. I'll have to have a look if not. Let's just try it though. Okay, no effect. It's probably because it's only decrementing B that what I'm doing, isn't it? Let's try. Try that. 1,000 is a small number even for the pause, Becky. Do you reckon that's very small, just every frame though? Okay, I'll try it and try 65,000. In fact, let's go. There we go. Well, hey, get in, guys. A bit higher. What, the speed? Get in. So that now I can use this, what I've just done, to make a very, very simple example. I think I might get a lot of hits on YouTube with that. I guess I need some sort of background. Oh yeah. Epic sax, love it. Oh, the Sinclair logo goes over the top of that stuff, doesn't it? Wait there, let's sort that out. Okay, I think that's going to be good next time. That was perfect usage of it as well. So the thing is, right, I guess to refine this a bit better, we want to come up with a logical value there, don't we? I mean, is there any way of knowing? I don't think there is there? Because this is now fixed to just however many frames or however many cycles it's managing to do. If there was able to be a halt there, for example, we'd know that it was only going to be 50 per second. Of course, I can just play with it, you know. So I put 1,000 first, didn't I? I want to just check it with the new code. Because if not, I'll go back to that easier, more simple code. Well, hey. Okay, so somewhere between the two. Build your own delay loop. Yeah, true. I'm gonna put a new sprite in. Oh, I've only got him left, haven't I? I've got rid of all the others. Could have put the little Tweety bird. Damn, I wish I didn't delete that now. Maybe the declutter helped me though to fix the problem. I'll try 10 times slower. Oops. That chicken dance was the mentalist one though, but it is funny. Yeah, that looks good. That's quite a nice little speed to have as a base. Cool, I love it. Delay loop for acceleration. I'd love to be able to figure that out because for me it's like a fixed loop. I get what you mean if you only want to accelerate everything. I do get what you mean there. Like this could be called game speed, couldn't it? Like default game speed. I mean, I may as well have a constant for game speed. It'll make that code more readable. I'm gonna have to figure out these closely so that when I do I'm gonna do a nice concise video, but I want to know what they mean first, like exactly, if possible. Oh. It's game speed, but the higher number makes it go slower. That's the annoying thing, isn't it? Maybe speed's the wrong name. Build a game running on interrupts. Yeah, but I had it on interrupts first, didn't I? But I would as well, because I like to be able to know. You need to know, really. Oh, I got rid of the disable interrupt. I noticed though on all the next programs they seem to have disable interrupt done. Must be a reason for that. So the problem I was having was I wasn't using that. So it seems every frame you have to select the slot, send the pattern data. But it certainly doesn't seem to slow the little bugger down. It would affect everything. Okay, micro. I'd assume the ports used for the keyboards would still work. Okay. I mean, I hate to say it. Well, I love to say it as well. I would define this as a success at this stage. I at first thought I wasn't even going to get this to work. But this will become second nature, before too long of doing these. This is the way it has to be done. I guess that's in the drawing code. This is like an update stuff. Might try that actually. See if that works. Just do it immediately after update. See if it works. If it does, that's good because it sort of separates it. This is a total success. Thanks, Volker. Win. Yep. Thanks, Micro. By rote. Yeah, you certainly do, man. I mean, we've literally just started scratching the surface of this, haven't we? But that was a big chunk removed there of the outer casing. Oh, I'm pressing down really quick, but it's not going down. Oh, there we go. Very strange. Okay, great, it works. That's fantastic. That's actually really good news. I have a feeling then, in this start routine here, don't think we need... Did we notice though? I didn't... 100 bits, thanks Moz. It's well worth it for the chicken dance. I love it. I might use it as my intro one time. Try and get the full version. How do you play the chicken dance? Do you know what? I don't know. I added it as an extension in the sound effects. I think it's on my page. Yeah, but this bit I haven't reused. All sprites visible. Alright, I'm going to try and comment this bit out. Because it's written twice. Aha, it's gone. Okay. How strange. Let's try and copy this. Into the drawer. See if it works, which I think it might. I hope it does. No, that's a shame. So it seems I had to do that in the start part only, but it also had to be preceded by all that sprite stuff. I'm 99% sure at this stage that this seems maybe we don't need all of that. Does seem to work. Oh, I wish I'd left another sprite in there because I could have tried to draw a second one, couldn't I? Yeah, thanks for that, Moz. That was awesome. Where's that draw routine gone there? I've just hacked it about. Let me just make sure it works. Yes, it's back how it was. guess I could quickly try and flip it, like when depending on which way it's facing, and also zoom it. Yeah, for sure. Just hack away one bit at a time. Get there in the end. Oh look, I'm only doing the position. Palette, offset, rotate, mirror. So perhaps I must need to get. It's this bit I need again then. I like that you can have 0 as the palette offset. That's nice and handy. 3 is the X mirror. Let me just see if he faces the other way now. I hope so, Micro. I hope so. It's feeling a bit more like home now. Ah, he's still not facing left. Whoa! No, my eyes are bad. No, he's facing right the whole time. So it's like that's ignored. Let me try it up here. I mean, there's no reason now. Surely it faces left. It was hard to. It was hard to see. I must be honest. If it's something really important, I do zoom the screen in, but obviously this isn't that important. It's still facing right, so that's quite good news actually. It just means I've got it wrong somehow. I mean, I don't see why. Let's just change the palette just to see. See if it even works. Oh, I do apologise. I'll turn it down now actually. Okay, the palette definitely works. Just zooming it in so it's easier for you to see. That's definitely the right bit, isn't it? Do they mean Y? I know on the spectrum Y is the X-axis for some reason in some of them manuals. But no, that's not the case because X was X for the position. He did look like he changed direction, didn't he? I'm going to zoom it in for you, just so you can see. We've seen the code loads anyway. You've seen what I'm doing there. Should be facing left right now. Well, it should be upside down now. He is upside down. And he's facing left. So it's rotated him. Or it's flipped both of them. I need to zoom him so we can see him properly. Let's try and do zoom first. Perhaps it was working, Vulcan. My eyes are pretty bad. And it's probably hard to pick up on, but when everything's in such a small window for me, it's actually really small. Even though on the stream it probably doesn't look like it. Like obviously my code window is not small. Alright, so let's try and look really close at him then before I try and figure out how to zoom. This should be facing left, and then I'll do facing right. Check lager. There's not enough. Need the homebrew. Nah, he's facing right, he is. 16:9 monitor. Yeah, I've got two. One's a TV, but it's quite far away. And then I've got a 16:9 monitor. It's actually quite a good monitor, but it's plugged into a cruddy graphics card, so it's running in the wrong mode. Because I've got like it's a cheap make, but it's like 140 hertz or something. QHD or whatever it's called. 2-minute penalty. He looks like he's facing right to me, but maybe he was always facing left to start with. Maybe that was the problem. Yeah, okay, good. So his default is actually left. Got there in the end. That was just my stupidity of not seeing it properly. I'll tell you this one. Yeah, we need some more jokes, man. Up to you, Vulcan. I mean, I could always use more, you know. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of trouble to send them, innit? If I'm ever able to go to London, it's not the fact of going there. It's just I'm scared driving down the motorways because the police pull me over and ask me what I'm doing. Because otherwise I'd just drive. Because I've got some of my family in Hastings, some other areas. My mate lives in Harrow. Might be a repeat. I don't mind. Micro. My memory's rubbish anyway. I don't know. Tell me, how do New Zealanders find their sheep in the tall grass? It sounds filthy, however it is. Just finding any length of grass. Did you just rob that off a Welshman joke and then change it to New Zealanders? I will, Volk. I'll get on Discord if I'm ever heading that way, and I'll let you know. For sure. It'd be nice to meet up. I mean, I don't go there very often, especially not with lockdown. I haven't been anywhere out of my town since the lockdown. Uh-oh. Fun police. Anyway, yeah, I've just figured it out. So flip means he's facing right. Oh, how annoying. How annoying that is, isn't it? Because you can't do that in there. Got to zoom back out of the code a little bit. I hope that's not too small. Are you going to Hastings, are you? I was born there. That's where I was born. I actually drove to buy a car in North London once, all the way from Torquay, and my existing car, the gearbox went when I was in Bristol on the motorway, and I stayed in third gear the whole time, all the way to Harrow. Well, somewhere near Heathrow. My mate, I managed to phone him. I didn't even tell him, and I said, I told him what's happened, and I just said, look, I'm gonna get to the end of the motorway, and then my car's gonna conk out. And he knew roughly. He must have known where I was gonna be. Just wait. There was a car park, and he was flipping there, waiting when my car conked out. It was unbelievable. I gave the car to him, and he sold it for 30 quid. That's a funny day, that. Because not only was I driving the whole way there in third gear, but you could hear bits of metal cracking around in the gearbox and shit like that. It's sad here because all I want to do is check whether to set the flip bit or not. Yeah, that sounds cool, Mod. That sounds brilliant. I would love it. Even literally a beer in the garden is awesome enough for me. I'm not fussy whatsoever. You know? Yeah, it seems like forever since I've travelled anywhere. Like I say, not even 20 miles outwards. Probably even for like 6 months before the lockdown, at least. Probably more than that even. But you're not bothered when you think you can go at any time, are you? You know. Sounds brilliant. Do you actually work in London then, Vulcan, or do you work from home? Or Girlfriend and or wife. Bring them both, mate. Why not? Will do, Micro. I think I'll have to make a new repo for this one. Cool, man. Good night, man. Yeah, you've timed it pretty well. I'm getting near to the end now. I'm going to make the flip happen when he flips around. And then maybe learn to zoom him. So of course, if you did want a routine just to set the flip, you can probably just go through all these again, set the position again to be the same, and then check, and then set this. I think I'm just going to go. This is in the draw routine. It's not great, but yeah, it's not bad. Oh, that's annoying. You can only do it once because it just writes to him in order. So of course I can't just write to it and then overwrite it, which is what I wanted to do. I guess I'll just have to have. This is the only way I can think of doing it. Set flip bit. And reset flip bit. Now you've already seen a problem there. I need to do the actual bit because I'm setting the entire attribute there. So I need to set the bit really, but we'll do that again another time. A lot of jumping going on here as well. It's not very friendly. So therefore we don't actually need that anymore. Yeah, when it's all settled we certainly will. It'd be awesome. You never know, there might be a few more people up for it by that point. Get a few more in the crowd. Well, hey, there we go. So we're getting there, look. We've started to make a game here. Of course, we can have a much more impressive sprite. That's a very mediocre sprite in terms of what the capabilities are. But he looks great for now. Let's try and zoom him, and then that'll be it. I know how to rotate him there. I mean, I don't know how to rotate him. Because does that just constantly rotate if the bit is set? And if so, what speed does it rotate at? Let's try it. Just always have it rotate. Oh, right, okay. So rotate seems to just... It doesn't mean to actually rotate. It means show it in a rotated state of 90 degrees. I think that's what that means. Fine. I think I did see that actually, now I come to think of it, when I was reading that page earlier. Excuse me. The last thing I want to do before I go offline is zoom. And it looks like I can't find that. What the hell's the VR index? It was pretty nice, thanks Moz. Yeah. If it zooms, it'll look really good. Ah, thank you Moz. You're an absolute superstar, honestly. I never dreamt I'd get enough to withdraw from Twitch already. It's absolutely amazing. I know obviously next month won't be the same unless I can increase the view count, by doing next. Of course, then it might boom. You never know. But I'm sure every bit you're giving me helps massively, because it probably helps Twitch to add me to the supported channels and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much. But what I'm going to try and search for that zoom thing on that Sprites thing. Sure, I saw something about zoom. No, it doesn't get mentioned at all. It does. No, not here. No, the word zoom. I'm sure I saw the word zoom mentioned. It was right at the start, wasn't it? Plotting more pixels times 2 magnified. Yeah, gradually getting there. And I was, at first, God, it was like a big brick wall. But I think I've got the hang of it now. It was just looking like it was doing too much every frame, but it seems to whiz through it. I'm just reading that thing, try and figure out how to zoom it. That is good for him. He's always got quite a few viewers as well. Whenever I just quickly see him online, he's always got at least 8 every time I've seen him. I really want to use Sid Tracker online and make a couple of tracks and use them as the intro and all that. Quite fun, I think, but I never get around to it because I'm not an expert at that program. I'd be trial and error the whole way through. But it's quite fun because you get sounds straight away to trial and error. It's not like you're spending ages coding or anything before you even get anything. I'm just reading this little bit about Sprite Attribute 3. Okay. Here we go, magnification. Right, so in Sprite Attribute 3, you've got to set bit 6. I think this is Sprite Attribute 3. No, it's not. Ah, I see. 0 was X, 1 was Y, 2 is palette. So it actually needs, that's a shame. Alright, so there's now another byte of data, the visibility bit. $128. That's just a 1 at the top, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So they were just setting it to be visible. Right, this is making perfect sense to me now. So that second one I put as a 1 is the extra, like the E, and it means that you're going to give it another attribute. You have to do out, where is it? Out C? Yeah, out CA. So now, because I've set that other 1, it's going to want another byte. Yeah, I wouldn't like to stream Fortnite, oh my goodness me. Yeah. Yeah, but this second one gives me the second byte, which I'm now looking at. It's got magnification on it. So the first one should be a 0 for H, which is if it's a 4-bit sprite. N6, 7th pattern bit, if it's 4 bits, 0 again. Think of 1 there, but I'm not really sure. It's going about relative sprites. Right, here we go. X magnification and Y. So 0101. Ninth bit of the Y coordinate. So I've just doubled the zoom. Let's try it. Oh, hey! Oh, he stopped moving though. Good night, Vulcan. I'll give you that VIP as well, like you wanted. But thanks for visiting. I'm gonna be adding loads to this soon, man. Yeah, nice zoom. I don't know why he stopped moving though, sadly. Let's try and zoom it even more. You can do 8x zoom. Almost the whole screen. Barbecue next weekend. Good on you, Vulcan. Post them on the Discord, mate, if you want to. Well, hey, yeah, something's bugging out here. Oh, it's the movement thing, of course, isn't it? It must be the minimum size. Still a lot more to learn, of course. I found that weird about the 2x one though. He was big. He looked cool. I mean, I can't imagine us ever needing a sprite that big. But it's cool though. Just one 16 by 16 sprite can be that big. I think I'll make this a bit bigger so it's got less room to move. And then same with here, smaller. So only 100 pixels now to move in. And if he's twice the size, he's 32 width. So he's not got very far to move. Let's see what it looks like. See if it works. I'm hoping that that's going to not bug out now. That means it's to do with the. It did still bug out. So it seems like it was okay going left and then not right. Yeah. Ah, I think I know why. Where did I do it? Cool, this code's a right mess. I'm going to start a new project soon. Yeah, I jump here. That needs to be cool. Yeah, I love the zoom thing. In theory, you shouldn't even need to worry. Like, you know where I changed the boundaries there? Because my caveman debugging approach, the first thing I did was reduce the boundary so he wasn't going off the screen. But in theory, you shouldn't really need to worry about that. The sprite hardware should be able to deal with that because it's zoomed. Loads of potential, yeah, and especially for like zooming. I'm thinking of the Super Nintendo. I played a lot of games on that where they had zoom, and it looked really cool. And then with sound effect as well, like, loads of things used it. But also, yeah, for like parallax scrolling, you could have the same sprite of a bush, for example. You could have one at 2x and one at 1x, and then parallax scroll using the same sprite, but it would look like a sort of path with two, like a 3D path almost. Let's try and push this right to the limit. I mean, why can't it go to 0? Of course, less than. I'll try 8. Okay, that's a bit better. So it goes off to like a little gutter. And that's because I put 8. So let's put 0. It seems like they've got a 2-cell width like we had as a gutter. And that was probably why I couldn't see them sometimes when I was doing my very first attempts. Move left, move right. So let's try 0 and 255. See if it crashes. I reckon it should be able to cope with it. Maybe it ain't going to like the 255. Maybe it needs to be 254. Because it's more than or equal. And then I did actually explicitly set the bit for the higher one. Yeah, man. Ah, I can see exactly why that's done that. It's a cool side effect, and I know why it's done it. It's because I just said it. I explicitly set the bit for the high bit of both x and y. So in that moment when it goes under, 0, I set the other bit to 0 or to 1 perhaps. And also look, I put less than 0, so of course that was not going to work. Hopefully this will work this time. Oh, way. Weird how it doesn't have the gutter at the other side. Very odd. I guess the way around that is just put 17 there. Although it's not really a way around it. I need to come. The way around it is to use that high bit properly. But it's like, it's quite confusing because it's located in a completely different byte of data. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. The last thing I wanted to try was just try it again on a bigger zoom and see if it can handle them same boundary values. I love it though. I've grasped quite a lot of it there. It should be 4 times magnification now. Well, hey, love it, love it. Apparently, it's not going to be very hard to do animations either. It's just, pretty goddamn simple. I think it's a case of just loading it with a different. Figuring out the best way of doing that might be hard because we've got to basically just move this forward a certain amount, haven't we, and do the same thing again. So there'll probably be a loop we can do. Oh, how brilliant. I wish I kept the other sprites in there now so I could have got a really cool one to finish with as a little thumbnail. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me, Moz. Thanks again for all the bits. It means a massive amount to me. I'll certainly be here tomorrow doing more coding. In the day, hopefully. You never know. I'm going to try and knock together a very small game or, some controls and stuff. But it's going to take a long time. It could be a couple of weeks before we even got the remnants of the game. Huh? It is a cool machine. What I found cool was there's like 10,000 people that have bought it now. And they're waiting for it eagerly, So if I could get a couple of half decent games out, I might be able to sell like 1,000 copies of one. You never know, So I'm gonna really try because them owners of it, at least half of them probably buy games. I would say. Obviously, some just buy it to code with. But you'll be able to download most of my games for free as well, of course. And I'll be coding all of them live. But there might be one that I decide to not release onto GitHub the code if it's a really nice game and I do all the graphics myself and stuff like that. But yeah, can't say thank you enough, everyone viewing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Miles, have a good rest of your night. If you're still there, I think you are. Yeah, tomorrow it's going to be a late night one again. Saturday night is always late working for me. But as soon as I get in, I'll be online.